Joining us in our virtual studio is Matt Sherwood, founder and CEO of WeVidIt. WeVidIt is a Robinhood-like investment app where people like you and me can invest on creative video projects, and it has a non-consumer-facing dashboard that also provides detailed data on demographics and sentiments towards the project. Welcome. So, yeah. So you come from a Wall Street background. You come from being an author. You have a PhD. You wrote a book. And it almost feels like your character arc was heading in a very specific direction. And now you've developed this app. So tell us, what's the origin story of Matt Sherwood and WeVidIt?
Well, thank you so much for having me today. It certainly is a unique origin story, based on not only the business we created, but my personal story. For me, right out of my MBA, I went to Wall Street to work for Morgan Stanley, and I spent over 15 years on Wall Street. But this gave me a great understanding of what it means to issue stock and understand securitization, which is just a fancy word for investments and regulated investments. But the origin story truly starts with an event that happened to me in 2008. I actually, 15 years ago, I lost my eyesight. And the first 10 years of being blind, I utilized a cane. It's easier to fold up a cane and hide it, fake eye contact in the sharp level world of Wall Street than having a guide dog. But over that time, and this is 5 years ago, I decided to go and see what it'd be like to train with a guide dog. And that experience made me want to capture that on, or through a professional documentary. But being a PhD researcher, I wanted to learn everything I could about the distribution process and the funding process for professional content. And in doing so, long story short, I never made the documentary, but I discovered, and I do have a wonderful black lab guide dog, but I did discover the fact that there's some inefficiencies in the film and TV industry that my background in the financial services industry could really solve. And so this is where we decided to create, and I created, and I brought on, employees and co-founders, and we created what is WeVidIt. WeVidIt stands, the V obviously for video, but it's a play on words of We Did It, because it's a community that now can invest in projects and give access to anyone, even unaccredited investors, which just means investors that are making less than $250,000 annually or less than $1 million net worth. That's your 99%. Previously, these investors would not be able to access investments in film and TV content or even live theatrical productions. So I realized that's a major problem, because they deserve to have economic inclusion to be able to financially benefit from what is streamed or saw in theaters. And I, having a background dealing with the Securities Exchange Commission and the Financial Regulatory Authority, I knew that I had the pathway, the knowledge to be able to create what is now WeVidIt. So certainly it's a great, I would say it's a unique origin story to get here, but it's a great opportunity we created to provide economic inclusion to all and allow everyone to shape and challenge culture through film and TV.
Wow, your story is very inspiring, really, truly is. And for something like this to come into the film and media industry is just very interesting. And what I really have an interesting take on this is for students. So for students, we know that like BFAs have to fundraise an additional $10,000 for thesis films. So how could students and filmmakers almost take advantage of this kind of platform to help them with a thesis?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's funny you say for students. I was speaking to a UCLA film professor recently, and he just talked about how lucky his students are that they're going to have this going forward rather than what a career in film was like for him. Because he wasted time begging studios, meeting with studio suits, begging them for money. He tried to reach out to private equity firms that have film funds, or he'd be begging Aunt Sally, right? And that's what, largely these students who have, these BFA students have to do. There is Kickstarter and Indiegogo and GoFundMe, which are completely different from WeVidIt because they're donation based. It's just begging for money. So for students now, for creators, emerging and existing creators, right, established and emerging, you're now able to go to a platform, apply to open a project for investment, and actually be able to raise money for that film, that project, that series you want to produce. So it incentivizes anyone in any fans, audience, or anyone out there that now they can invest in this film. So if it does get distribution to a number of different platforms, I could name them all, but any streaming service or theatrical distribution, now those people who supported that college student, that emerging creator, or any creator or producer in their walk of life, they're now able to have a financial benefit through that support. And it truly helps that emerging creator, that college student, get started and really be able to develop a strong career based on a level playing field of talent and creativity.
It's almost like a sense of community.
Absolutely.
For filmmakers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I feel like that's so special for filmmakers to have. So that's very, very interesting. So since we're on the topic of students and all that fun stuff, so we are students, and I can tell you we are always looking for opportunities pretty much everywhere. So what kind of opportunities, whether it's entry level or an internship, will WeVidIt have, if they have any?
Yeah, so there are internships that we offer through WeVidIt, and we really are looking for creators, but also those in communications, marketing, and other fields that are trying to emerge in this industry. If there's someone that has a passion for film and TV and live theatrical productions, and instead of trying to chase and go to Hollywood and speak with those well-established, very archaic and bureaucratic organizations, WeVidIt would love to have them as interns to really be able to hustle and learn and be part of a very innovative and disruptive platform.
So I'm also thinking, I know we touched upon the topic of students and everything, but aside from that, what kind of content are creators allowed to upload? And is there almost a process to get on the fundraising app for group projects?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. WeVidIt does have a profile section that allows you to put skills and create a profile for yourself, even show work experience, put links to other social media platforms. And there's a way that there can be connectivity that way. But there's two processes on WeVidIt to really be able to upload a project. And one is to upload a project as a pitch, it could be any content. We do have community guidelines. We try to, serve a family-friendly audience. But any content, you can choose your genre, upload your project in 2 minutes and 30 seconds less. And this could be a trailer, teaser, preview, project pitch of any kind. And you can have two options from there, whether you're looking to have it open for investment, in which we go through and analyze these projects and reach out and speak to the producers, the creators, and discuss what they really need and see if they're in the right shape to take on investment from a crowd. And then the other is, you can test the waters. You can upload a project just to get some sentiment from, people rating that project. They can share it socially to other social media platforms and see if there's some virality and how the consumers, us all, other fans, are viewing it. Later, that project can then, apply to be open for investment. So those are the ways to do it. It's, I would strongly encourage everyone, go to Google Play or the App Store, download the app that way, and create your account.
Awesome. Yeah, very awesome. And I have a very specific question for you. Has there been a project on WeVidIt that has really inspired you by any means?
There's a few out there. One that's just opening up for investment now is Holy Broken series. This stars Marie Osmond. And I like it because it talks about, tragedy amongst tragedy. If there is a divine intervention in that, I think that's a really interesting series. They have some amazing cast in it, and have actually had a movie, on Amazon Prime a couple of years ago. That now they're turning into a series. So I think that's really interesting. But there really are a ton of projects, even the ones that are not open for investment, that I find, fascinating. And I love that this is a path for creators to really share, what they're passionate about, as well, is in many ways is personal to them.
Yeah, and I think that film and even TV is such a very beautiful art form to kind of have somebody to express themselves, and for you to have this platform for people to be so collaborative on it. It really seems like a relationship, which seems so important, especially in like the media industry, just talking to people, networking to people, and getting to know people and working on a vision. And I just think that's beautiful.
Absolutely. It's something that I think is key and important to have this community, really shift the economics and the power from, the certain few in Hollywood to now to all of us, right? The fans, the creators, those that are passionate about the art. And I think having that community gives this, the ability to do so.
Yeah. I also kind of wanted to dive into the emoji rating, because when I looked at the app and I looked at the website, something that really caught my eye was the emoji rating of the content, and it can share their intention to watch it or data and all that. So how'd you kind of come up with that rating system for the app?
Yeah, well, great question. Currently, doesn't matter where you're streaming content, viewing content, what social media platform you're on, they're seeking your data, right? Because data is valuable to them. And that might be data on whether you like or not like something. We're very upfront that we want to use data for good. And what we do is we allow this emoji rating system so that you can get critic coins, you can earn badges, and there's a way to like have value through these critic coins. And you get them just by being a critic. And you're doing so by making an emoji rating based on these projects. So projects that are pitched on our platform, when you view it, you can simply just click on a, emoji rating of, whether judging by the emoji's character or expression, if you really like it or not. But what that does for us is we're able to help empower that creator to show our support for them and for their project. And we use that to help them have opportunities to get, production deals, opportunities for them to have confidence in opening a project for investment, and truly opportunities to get distribution deals. This is one way, even not through economics, but one way through sentiment, right? That we're able to help these creators, have paths to success, because it's not just someone in Hollywood or in a high rise in New York's, gut feeling at 7 years old that they decide we're going to give this person a shot, or we know him because they're my friend's nephew. Rather, now it's the crowd saying, we love this content.
Definitely. And I have a very interesting question about this. So we all know what mostly an algorithm is, and this might be, I don't know if WeVidIt actually has an algorithm, but does WeVidIt have an algorithm, or is there a plan to have some sort of algorithm in the future?
Yeah, we've developed algorithms, and algorithms just is basically a mathematical equation, right? And we have it to serve the consumer with content that they like, because it's really just the really fancy data science term is, it's dynamic clustering. It's just clustering content that someone would like. And we have it, but we're not using the algorithm to take advantage or exploit. We're very clear about how we use it. We really just want to serve people the best user experience. I hope that wasn't too scientific.
No, it's so interesting because you don't think about how much math truly goes into it.
Absolutely. It really is driven by math. I mean, that's what helped, for me with my background, is what helped create a great user experience for people on WeVidIt. I'll even say one other aspect, speaking of that user experience, we also have WeVidIt U, and this is through a partnership we have with the Motion Picture Association. This allows educational content. So when you think about those in a BFA program or any college student that may want to be an emerging creator, we partnered with the Motion Picture Association, the MPA, to be able to take some of their interviews, this educational content of potentially, it could be the hair and makeup stylists for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, or a cinematographer. It could even be costume designers. that actually we have footage of them talking about their secrets to success, what they've learned. And it's this free, opportunity for emerging creators to learn and grow, and anyone in the industry. We also have education on utilizing our platform, on the investment process, and WeVidIt You.
So the motto says, "Stop letting Hollywood influence you and your family. Shape film and TV by rating and investing in projects that share your values." I'm curious, which projects do you know of that you're personally enthusiastic about that you think hasn't really been pushed by Hollywood and that is out there that people should know about?
I mean, there are several. One unique project on our platform, I think, from the creator standpoint, is animated musical on called The Unusual Tale of Mary and Joseph, and it's about the birth of Jesus. And for this creator, it's a Prince of Egypt style. And one thing that we thought was very interesting is, although a well understood story and of Jesus' birth, it was never done in a musical and animated version. So we thought there's a huge market for that, and we wanted to let this creator share their values and really be able to promote that on that offering on our platform.
And I'm also curious to know that, because a lot of people haven't invested in anything before, how are you thinking about going about making the concept more accessible to someone who is interested but doesn't really know about investing?
Yeah, I mean, this is the grassroots campaign that we have to have. It has to be about all of us, right? All of you, the community out there, college students, because there's many investments that someone can make, right? We all know there's stocks and bonds and cryptocurrency, but this is a path that we see how successful Hollywood has been. Major streaming services out there, and it really hasn't been accessible to anyone. Not just those that, in college that may haven't invested at all. We're actually creating this through microfinance. So people can invest as low as $100 in certain projects. And this is done in a very, regulated, legal and compliant way, which just means, a lot of burdensome headaches for me. But, we actually don't give creators their money unless they make the minimum that they're looking for. We hold these investments in escrow accounts, so it can't be even touched by us, right? And we actually issue securities. You're truly buying shares, like stock certificate in these projects. For me, I think we want to invest in things we understand and know. Many people out there, they may not understand Bitcoin, and they may not understand Tesla stock, right? But what you can understand is, well, a streaming channel is making X amount of my dollars every month, right? When I go download this to purchase it and watch this 90-minute film, I know I have to pay X. So you understand that there is the value that could be created for investing in film and TV. Other than that, I would truly say we have investor education on our platform. We're required by law, and we want to improve that always and have really easy to understand and easy to use information out there on the investment process. And I would say go to our app, look at the investor education, read it. If you have any questions, reach out to us. But it's truly important for us to educate everyone on the investments on our platform. At a high level, there's a for investing in film and TV content. For example, the two products that are currently open for investment on our platform right now, there's a recoupment of funds clause, meaning the investors get paid back from distribution. So say the series or a film is, it's created and then goes and gets distributed on a streaming service. Well, when those dollars come back to that piece of content, the first dollars go back to the investors until they're made whole. And then it's split from there on. The revenue is shared between the investors and the creators, those producers of that content. I hope that was helpful.
It was. Thank you for
Mhm.
the info.
It definitely was. Investing is almost like a scary kind of thing for somebody who doesn't really know a lot about it. So that was definitely very helpful.
Yeah, we really want to educate, and the difference is when people don't know, they'll might go to another platform. I mentioned Kickstarter and GoFundMe, and they just donate and they get nothing for it. But we want to help people know so they could actually have an economic benefit.
Yeah, definitely important. So one last question for you. Where, if people are curious, where can they learn more about WeVidIt?
Well, certainly you could go to WeVidIt.com. Check it out there. That's easy to go, and you'll also see download links to our mobile apps. But you can go directly to Google Play as well and search for WeVidIt, as well as going to you go to the App Store. That's WeVidIt. And like I said, it's a play on words for We Did It, because it truly is a community.
I like that a lot.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. This has been so interesting to talk about.
Thank you for having me again.